All right, we are live.
Heck
So
yeah.
we're just going to take a couple of minutes, let people trickle in, talk about this amazing live show that y'all are watching,
Trying to
and
see
share.
if we have it up on. Here we go, live.
For some reason, I don't think I can see you. Change layout. Oh, yeah, okay. So when you talk, it shows you, and when I talk, it shows me. So I guess that's fine.
Okay. Are you able to do like a tiled layout?
That's what I'm trying to see, because that'd be pretty nice.
Right.
Yeah. I've set
Try to
aside
pin
pin
both of our videos.
pin
That's the
for
only way I was able.
everyone and pin for everyone. Okay, so if I pin both videos, let's see if that does anything. If not, it'll just look like we're talking alone. Yeah, no, that doesn't seem to work. It's really like one or the other. All right, let's start. Just gonna let people trickle in. I'm gonna send some posts on social media. Welcome to everyone who's in the chat. Let's see. Oh, we see Mario and Matthew. Welcome. Glad to see you. As you can see, we're completely like we're supernatural on stream. We're just like super talented and talk all the
Of
time.
course.
And yeah,
Just working through some of the technicalities of streaming. You know how it works.
it's always like that. Always takes a second.
Yeah. I said I wasn't gonna jump on YouTube and watch it too, but I figure I'd go participate in chat a little bit.
You can always reduce the quality.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's already auto quality down to 480p. So yeah, my internet's struggling already. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that down to 144. Oh,
Oh,
Alan Barr.
Alan, welcome. A lot of cool folks. So I guess like one thing that I'd like to do before we get into like the gist of this conversation is like that's something I like to do with my like during my day job is to just like ask a random question to just like
Oh
I guess
no. Okay.
break the
Let's hear
ice.
it. Yeah.
But it's not gonna be that random. Like is it like I'll make it TTRPG related, so like don't worry. Yeah, Alan, a bunch of nerds talking about nerd stuff. I think I'm gonna rename the stream or rename the channel. It's gonna be that.
Nerds talking about nerd stuff.
So here's my question for you, Andy.
Okay.
For you, what's a TTRPG?
Oh, like I thought there was going to be like more to that question. What is a TTRPG? So for me, I think it comes down to it's a game of imagination that has rules around it. I think really like at its most basic form, you're imagining a world and a character, and you're playing that character, and there's generally some kind of framework to do that in. That's the game part of the tabletop role playing, and but yeah, I think at the most basic, it's a an imaginary game that has a framework to help you play, right? And tell stories. So hopefully that is at least a decent answer.
I think so. Like I cheated because like I knew the question I was going to ask. I was like, oh, like I should know the answer to this, like my answer, and instead of like being like you and having to improvise it on the spot, right?
Right.
But
Yeah,
like,
at first I thought you were going to be like, what TTRPG does X best or that kind of thing. I was like, I don't know if I know how to answer that one either.
yeah, no, but I like honestly, my answer is pretty similar to you. Like for me, I have like the answer I came up with was it's an excuse. It's an excuse to tell a story. Like it's just like I don't know if excuse is the proper word. Like that's how I'd say it in French, but it's like it's just a pretext to play to play, right? It's just like you have rules and you have procedures, and they're gonna help you tell the story. But at the end of the day, the game is just there to try to break the ice, just like to try to help you. Like when you have doubts, when you're not exactly sure where the story, you're in which direction the story is going to go, you're going to use the mechanics. Where you're not sure about like the world or the setting, then you rely on the lore of the game. So like you use these things to help you, but at the end of the day, it's just a pretext to help making your story like telling it a bit easier. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like to say sometimes that I am a game designer because I'm a failed author. Right? I can't write a novel, but I love writing the frameworks for other people to tell stories. And that's really what I see a lot of my games are, is there's this flavor of story that I would like to, be able to tell. And so I will write the framework so then, a bunch of people can sit around, we can all sit around and we can tell that kind of story. But like before I was a tabletop game designer, I did a lot of writing. I wanted to write books and novels and short stories, and I never could finish any of them. So that's why I'm like, probably just doing this because I can't write a novel.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, you're totally right. I see Matthew in the chat. He says the TTRPG is a curse, and we're all cursed. I think that's a perfect segue in talking about like the first
Yes.
thing, like that. Okay, couple of important things about like what we're trying to do here. Like, first of all, welcome. Like this week in TTRPGs. It may be a one-off. It may be multiple things. We may do it every week. I don't think we will. We may do it every one, perhaps every month or every 2 months. I have no idea. Like scheduling is hard. If you're playing TTRPGs, you know that scheduling is super complicated. But yeah, it's just like the idea behind this is that like over couple of weeks, couple of months, or couple of days, we try to look like at the different things that have been published, the different news related to tabletop role-playing games, and we kind of make a little like notepad of all of them, and we hang out and chat about it with you in chat. So if you have like questions, if you have things you want us to talk about, go for it. We're just here to have fun. Like the rest of the Fart RPGs channel on YouTube is going to be pretty raw. There's no editing. There's no like fancy OBS streams or whatever. I'm literally using Google Meet to stream on YouTube. That's as far as it'll go. So yeah, we're just here to have fun, have a conversation, talk about like things that have happened recently in the TTRPG space. And one thing I want to talk about that like yeah, Matthew brought up TTRPG is a curse and we're all cursed. I think that like a curse that we've seen in the past month is all the people that decided to join up in Morktober and said to themselves, we're going to create a new Mork board supplement for 31 days straight. And those people have been publishing beautiful pieces of art, beautiful monsters, and like just crazy rules. Like, have you seen any in particular that like you saw on social media that like really like caught your eyes?
Yeah, so actually, we have a member of my Discord community, Tony Tran. He is participating, except for some reason, he's doing 3 different styles each day on the Morktober prompts, and so he's posting online and also in my Discord server like 3 different pieces of artwork per day, and it's just absolutely impressive to see him like just produce that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive what people have been able to do. Like one thing I think, what was it? The bread worm on on
Yes.
Blue Sky. Like
And they're
they're
doing aren't they looking at doing a book with it?
yeah, yeah, I think they're making like a Kickstarter with all 31 entries, but like what impresses me the most is that they're not bare bone. There's like beautiful art and effects in there. It's just like wow.
Yeah. Are you able to drop links in chat
Yeah,
for
let me
people?
try to find it. If someone in chat has the link already, don't hesitate to like drop it as I'm trying to Google. Let
Or
me try
will the
I
YouTube
have
screen pick up a window share? Like if you share a tab?
yeah, I think so. Like you go ahead, let's try it.
Oh gosh, hold on. I don't have that. I'm trying to find the person that you're talking about real quick. Give me 1 second. It is somewhere on here. Here we go. Okay, let me share it. Let me try to do this. This might not be the person. All right, let's see.
Yeah, so I see it. Let's see if
Okay.
it actually streams. That'd be perfect. Uh, But yeah, no, that art is incredible. I don't know, like, is this photo bashing or was that hand drawn?
It looks hand drawn. Yui says, yeah, it's Tanya. She's released Pit of Blasphemy and just wrapped up another module called Crown of Salt. So yeah, it sounds like they are proficient in Morkborg. This is really, really cool. This is the first I've ever heard of Tanya. Um, really great stuff. Yeah, and they've got a Omens of October brings Kickstarter going on. I believe this is the book that they're doing, right? With the
Yeah,
art.
yeah, I think so. The Omens of October.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yep.
Omens October
It's just
bring. Yeah,
it's really cool. It's very
yeah.
cool. Loving their stuff.
And the thing is, like, I didn't. Yeah, I think the first post I saw from Tanya was on Twitter. Like my Twitter feed has been absolute garbage for months, but somehow, like Tanya's posts just get like rising up to the top with like 2,000 likes or something. Like it just like kept popping.
Yeah, it just keeps going up. Yeah. So this is Tony Tran who I was talking about. So this is just like one day, these 3 different pieces, and he keeps doing like these 3 different styles. And I just think it's so cool to like see people messing around with different styles with similar prompts. But you can see here, like as he goes down, and this is every single day, which just blows my mind. Like I could never dedicate myself to doing 3 pieces of artwork every single day. It's pretty amazing. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Do we have? Let's just click on. Well, that's dangerous. Clicking on random tags, but let's see. We can do a Morktober Oktoberfest.
I think it's just
No,
October.
is it Mork? Oh,
Oh yeah, Patrick also has
oh,
been doing a
Patrick.
couple
Oh
of
yeah.
them.
So, I mean, while we're talking about this, I want to plug Patrick because Patrick has done so much for us by putting all of our games in the soloist. Patrick is doing Soloborg, which is like a whole dedicated rule set for playing Morkborg solo, and I think that's really cool. I believe this will be his first Kickstarter as well. He's going to take this out and actually crowdfund it, which is very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, love Patrick's awesome.
Yeah. And in case you don't know, like his newsletter, The Soloist, is like one that I never skip. Like I subscribe to a lot of Substacks, a lot of newsletters. Sometimes I just read the header and just like it goes straight into the trash bag. But like Patrick's The Soloist newsletter, it's just like I know when I receive it that it's gonna be good. Like it's not like, even the lengthy ones are not that lengthy. They're like super entertaining, easy to read, and like just yeah, he does a fantastic job. And yeah, we also didn't do any introductions. Like
Oh yeah.
which I'm just realizing. So
Do we really need introductions? Everybody knows who we are at this point,
yeah,
right? No,
yeah, I think so. We're like superstars, right?
sure.
Yeah. So Andy, why don't you open the ball?
Oh, sure. So I am Andy. I am the designer behind Pandian Games. Also the writer for Substratum Protocol and Whispers in the Walls and Badger and Coyote. And I kind of make games all over the place. I refuse to fall into a niche besides like narrative-driven games in general. And yeah, this is my third year as a game designer. Pandian Games been around for 3 years now. So nice to meet everybody.
And I'm René Pierre, but everybody calls me RP. And yes, my name is in French. I'm French Canadian. So if I don't find the proper words to say things, that's why. But yeah, I run a little design studio like ND. It's called Fari RPGs. Been doing that around the same time as ND. So like the class of 2021.
Class of 2021.
And yeah, I made a couple of games that you may know or not about, like Breathless, Firelight, Stoneburner, which we see in Andy's camera. So yeah, same thing. Been doing that for a couple of years, and yeah, I don't know how I would describe my games. I tried, like, the marketing terms that I'm using is rules bright and action packed. That's kind of like my brand, I guess. But like usually when I send games to my friends, including like Alan, who's in the chat, Alan usually just says, "Oh yeah, that's an RP game." Like I think I should just change the marketing tag on my website. Just say that's an RP game. If you don't know about RP, just do.
Right. I think we both have unique styles, and I don't even know how. Right, like we both just started designing games, and we both went off kind of in our own direction, and then everybody's like, "Well, that's clearly a Pandian game, or that's clearly an RP game," and I'm like, "I agree with you, but I don't know how." Right?
Yeah, like what would describe an RP game or an ND game, right? Like what's that like?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and even you, I think when I was doing the Songs and Sagas jam, you were like, "I'm curious to see what a Pandian game with Songs and Sagas is like," and I'm like, "I'm here for it. Let's go." But I'm like, I don't know what that means until I've written the game.
It needs to be done first, and then afterwards,
Right.
like, okay, I think I know what's my stamp on this thing.
Right. Exactly.
Up to the next thing I wanted to bring up, like we've talked a bit about Morktober. Another thing that's Morkborg related is the Morkborg Heresy Supreme, the official Morkborg video game. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. So they're still not funded. We're at like 98,850 euros out of a goal of 100,000 euros. So they're like super close to funding.
We're so close. I say we, I am not part of this campaign. I need to make that clear. But they are so close to funding this campaign.
Yeah. So it's using like the same kind of art, right? Like the same kind of like, yeah, the world's loudest tabletop role-playing games as a video.
I'm trying to get down. Here's a little animation that they've got going on the page, so people can see what's going on. And we were talking before the stream. It almost reminds me of like the layered like JavaScript web games that were quintessential to my upbringing by many hours. And there's definitely some nostalgia going on there in these.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Is it a roguelike? I feel like it should be.
It is multiple player classes. Man, are they not using those terms? Rogue? There's no rogue. name on here.
So I guess
In the
not.
chat, if you know what style of game this is, video game this is.
Yeah, or if you backed it, like they like
Yeah.
wondering if you have like a early access version of the game. But based on like what I'm seeing on the Kickstarter, it feels like they're also tying some of the game mechanics from Morkboard, but directly inside the video game. Like you're actually rolling dice to try to like do some stuff, which like I mean, there's probably been a couple of games doing that. Like on top of my head, I know Baldur's Gate 3 is all about like you roll dice all the time, but there's also I think Citizen Sleeper that does that, right? Which is like heavily based on Blades in the Dark. So I love seeing more of that in games.
Yeah, I think it like especially this image right here that's up on the screen with the little map that's scrolling up. I feel like there's a lot to be had with what is essentially becomes an interactive solo TTRPG that is a video game. I know that's like it's a weird thing, but more book than traditional video game. I think that there's just a lot of room to explore in that. I'm pretty excited to see what they do with this. To be honest,
I think there was another video game based on a TTRPG not so long ago. I think it was last year. It was for Lancer, but I think they used the third party license of Lancer to be able to do that. Like I don't think it's an official Lancer game, but I think it got a couple of 100Ks like of funding on Kickstarter.
wow.
Let me try to like Lancer video game Kickstarter. Lancer Tactics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
so
is. Oh, go ahead. Do you want to share your screen?
yeah, let me try to see.
It's all yours.
So Lancer Tactics. So this is old news, but still interesting.
I remember this. Okay, yeah. Did I back this?
So almost 5,000 backers and near 200K of funding. But yeah, I think it's using the third party license of Lancer, but I don't think it's like an official Lancer video game. But like this feels so much like Into the Breach, and I love it.
Yeah, I think it leaning into like the pixel art. This feels indie. This also feels a little like the 1998 era of top down like tactical games. I think that it sells it really well. I think that's exactly the direction you need to go.
Yeah, and like indie indeed, right? Because like play the demo on itch. So yeah, it does. Yeah, I love that. This is so cool. Nice. Andy, do you remember anything else we wanted to talk about?
I mean, did you want to talk about Cortex Prime?
I think so. I think it can be interesting to talk about Cortex Prime.
Because yeah, go ahead. I'm going to let you introduce it because I definitely have like business thoughts on this.
Yeah, I want to hear your business thoughts. So for those who don't know, Cortex Prime is a generic role-playing game. I've got the book somewhere in a box, like super beautiful premium hardcover book, like glossy and all of that. So Cortex Prime is kind of like an evolution of the Cortex system that was created for games like I think Smallville, the Smallville RPG from the early 2000s used that thing. I think there was a couple of others, but I don't remember them on top of my head. But it's a generic RPG that was applied for a couple of like popular IPs, and then they made a Kickstarter, if I remember, in 2017 to try to like make a new edition, which was Cortex Prime. So you have like the core rules of the game, and then you had like what they call the setting primer, or a couple of them, where you were able to basically start playing in a setting that they had prepared for you, right? Or use it as a basis for your own setting. So, and then in a couple of years later, I don't remember, I think it's 2019, but I may be wrong. Fandom purchased the rights to Cortex. So they basically grabbed the whole team and they were like, we're going to publish this thing. We're going to fulfill like the entire campaign that was made in 2017, like trying to keep the promises that were made. And I think I may be speculating, so like don't like quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, D&D Beyond also was part of Fandom, and Wizard of the Coast, from what I have read, may have been telling like that, like to Fandom that they couldn't do like D&D Beyond anymore, and I think they sold the rights to Wizard of the Coast. That part I'm not sure. It feels a bit fuzzy in my head, but there's something between Wizard of the Coast and Fandom and D&D Beyond that happened. And at that point, I think Fandom decided to just sell everything. And I think is it White Wolf Publishing that got the
Direwolf.
Direwolf Publishing. Yeah, so those folks purchased the rights from Fandom, and they just made an announcement saying that there was a supplement, if I recall, that was never fulfilled. The physical copies of a supplement during the original Kickstarter campaigns in 2017 still weren't fulfilled. And they basically told everyone it's not going to happen. Sorry. So, yeah, Andy, what do you think?
So I dug into, because I hadn't really kept up with Cortex Prime news, so I dug into this more today. And what I believe it is it's the volumes of the spotlights, and so they unlocked 5 spotlights, and these are 5 books essentially, volumes 1 through 5.
5 books?
Yeah, and I think and the thing is on their page they don't really describe, that I saw on the original Kickstarter, they don't really describe like how big these are going to be. Like, are they zines? Are they, softback? Are they hardbounds? Like, I'm not entirely sure about that. But it's just that part that is not going to get fulfilled, and that's for 351 backers, I believe.
Yeah.
And like I kind of understand it, right? Like, the business has now been sold 3 times. Like, I understand where Direwolf is coming from.
Yeah.
I also, have questions of Cortex Prime of like, did you not price this all out ahead of time? But this was also 2017. It was a different crowdfunding, ecosphere at that point, where you might not have fully specced out, all of your stretch goals, and you're literally rolling the dice. That's kind of the whole reason we don't run crowdfunding campaigns like that, is because we've seen failures like this where things don't get fulfilled, or they take 5+ years to get fulfilled because there's issues, and then you end up working at a loss. But I think, there's a lot of open-ended questions, like from the cost perspective of Direwolf, was the writing done and they just didn't want to send it to print? Did they have the ability to combine the 5 volumes into one volume that might have been cheaper, just do one big run and, get people the books, or at least something, or at least a digital release? I would assume something would have been written after 5 years by, the writers. But yeah, I kind of I understand Direwolf, but at the same time, I'm like, there probably could have been something they could have done to at least been like, we can't give you it all, but here's something, right? That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, let me share my screen. I'll share the article. Yeah, so a note on Cortex Prime Kickstarter spotlights. So yeah, funded in 2017, and then Fandom acquired Cortex in 2019. Let me zoom in a bit. And then afterwards, we didn't expect the completion of the projects to take as long as it did. That left a total of 351 backers who had pledged for physical, printed, and bound copies of spotlights. We dug into the logistics and found that the costs associated with layout, physical production, as well as the ongoing opportunity costs against work for new projects were costs we weren't prepared to pay. I mean, to some extent, like when you buy like a license like that, you like, if I were in their shoes, I wouldn't expect to have to fulfill like a campaign that was that old, right? For things that were never.
And I agree, and I'm also wondering when they went and purchased, or yeah, it had to have been a purchase, Fandom's RPG properties, that there was a discussion of contract fulfillment of what obligations was Direwolf going to fulfill.
Yeah.
And so really my question would be, Like, also, things happen. We are humans, and I totally understand wanting to free up legacy tech debt essentially in order to be able to move forward efficiently. Like, I totally understand that. But at the same time, if Direwolf had been like, hey, yes, we're going to take on all of this stuff. We understand they have outstanding campaign fulfillment. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I'm not upset with them, but it still stings, right? Like, you don't want to see that. Those 351 people, you know, but at the same time, a Kickstarter's not a guarantee of a product.
That's the thing, right? Like crowdfunding campaigns, when you create a project, there are banners everywhere that say like, hey, like well, when you back a project, there are banners everywhere on Kickstarter that say like, you're not buying a product, you're buying a promise or the hopes of a promise that may or may not realize itself. But yeah, like that particular sentence is like intense. It's like, we get it, but there's also a limit on how much money we can spend fulfilling other folks' promises.
Yeah. I'm like, but and the thing is, like, I've got like 15 Kickstarters that have never been fulfilled.
Yeah.
And it's been 10 plus years. So I get it. Am I upset with those creators? No, not at all. These things happen. A lot of us don't know what we're doing on our first Kickstarter. We have no clue, right? We're trying. So I do understand that aspect of it.
Yeah, you have to roll with the punches, because also, like, well, I don't know what was the situation for Cortex or Phantom or Direwolf, but like when I made my first Kickstarter, there are so many things I just didn't know how to handle. Like I was talking about with a friend about this, about like how at some point I thought the campaign was ready. I could just like print the books and send them to folks. And then the printer came back and said, you're not using the proper tone of black.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? I've printed books before, and that's the black I used. It's the hexadecimal code of like 6 zeros. That's black, and that's the color. And they were like, no, but like there's a difference between, I think it's true black or another
offset.
Yeah.
I remember you like sending me a voice message in panic because you were like, I don't know what to do. What is this? And I was like, hold on, I'm getting back to my computer. Give me 1 second. Yeah.
But yeah, so for those who don't know, like when you start printing, like it was good news. Like when you don't print a couple of books, they're printed on digital like printers. So like you can use, like, it's kind of like bigger printers than but the same kind of format of printers as the printers you have at home. So good, that's normal. It's just bigger printers. But when you print thousands of copies, then they sometimes will use offset printers, and those printers need plates. They need plates to be made to be able to print the different kind of colors. So you have like the CMYK colors, and the black that I was using was 00000 in hexadecimal, and I was supposed to use 0 cyan, 0 yellow, 0 magenta, 100% K. So, well, 255 or something, but yeah. So I learned that the hard way. But that's the thing with Kickstarters, you don't exactly know all the kind of things that you're going to be facing when you create something. So it's definitely challenging. But like you're saying, it's still things. One thing I'm wondering is, I think a lot of Cortex fan also had that question when Direwolf acquired the rights, is what's next for Cortex, right? Because generic games are a hard sell. You've been seeing it with Evil At trying to, like, they had made a beautiful Kickstarter. I think it was 2015 for Fate Core. They had made a couple of books, a couple of supplements. I think the last one was Fate of Cthulhu in 2020 or 21, around those days. And then at some point, I think it was Fred Hicks, the CEO, who just said, like, we're going to move a bit more towards PBT and Fortune to Darks, because those games do better and they're easier to sell than Fate, right? So, like, I wonder what's the plan for Cortex. What, like, are they getting new IPs? Are they going to be creating original settings? Are they going to take some of their like own IPs and try to put Cortex on top of it? Like, they must have had a plan, otherwise they would not have bought the game.
Yeah. And I think the topic behind, generic games and specific games is a much bigger topic. I don't know if we have time for just news in the week for that, but I do agree with you. You know, a generic game I think can survive today if it has setting guides behind it. So you can say, here's the one rules that this table needs to learn, or my table needs to learn, and then here's all of the different things that we can play with that, right? Honestly, it's probably why some of your like pamphlet games work so well. It's because they're so easy to hack with just a core set of rules. And then people are like, oh, I'm going to take Breathless. I'm going to go do this over here. Or I'm going to take Song and Saga. I'm going to go do this over here with it, you know? So yeah, I feel like without those spotlights and without the setting guides or continued development of that, like, yeah, where does Cortex go? I don't know.
Yeah, I hope it goes somewhere. I mean, the original book, like it's looks
gorgeous.
so good. Yeah, like the layout and all of that, the art is precious. Okay. I think that covers pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. There were a couple of other things that like people had sent us or that we had seen, but like I personally am not familiar enough about them to talk about them in depth. So I highly encourage you go follow This Week in TTRPGs on Blue Sky, or follow our social media accounts where we'll drop them in the chat if you want to know more about those things. But yeah, soon, like if the kind of the idea is that like if you see something cool, you can tag us, and then we're gonna repost it, and at some point we're gonna make a video like that. If you like it, a little stream. If you like it, just tell us, and we're gonna continue. If you don't, well, tell us, and we'll stop. That's
yeah. We don't want to do this if nobody's enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah. So how about some outro? So Andy, do you want to drop some social links in the chat and call it a night?
Sure. While I am getting my social links real quick, because of course I cannot find them. We just wrapped up Stratum Protocol, so that's for sale. We have a Halloween bundle for sale, 30% off, free shipping on our store. And we are launching another campaign in the spring of next year called Midnight Muscadines. So definitely, give us a follow. We've got a lot going on. And one day I will find chat. There it is. Hey, chat. There's Blue Sky. And then we're Pandian Games on every single site. We really lucked out. We were able to grab every single social handle just as Pandian Games.
Amazing. As for me, you can search for RPDSHAIES. That's like my main account on social. If you find that, you're gonna find me. But apart from that, you can go on FariRPGs.com, and all my socials are linked on the site. And in terms of like general news about FariRPGs, we've got a game jam going on right now for the latest game that we published, which is an irradiated radioactive OSR inspired solo friendly RPG called Waste Walkers. It's free. It's a pamphlet. You can print it at home, and we're hosting our first ever third-party content jam where people can make adventures, tables, villains, factions, whatever. So yeah, if you like want to dabble with game design or want to write something, like that's a great opportunity. We've got a lot of free resources that you can use to get started. So thanks for everyone who joined this evening, and wishing you a great rest of your day. And it stopped.
Stopped public streaming. Cool.